We are so live. I was doing better with the preparation today, but I forgot music. We'll do this. Alright, I'm gonna take this off. I have not drawn much, so last stream was Friday. This was the last comp, and I would like to do these more, but I did some figures yesterday. I started this not course, but this figure instruction online. I didn't quite like it, so I kind of just used their photo references, and I might go back and finish today's stream with that. Here are some more. I kind of liked this one. This is the same one. The drasticness of their curve threw me off. And it's just it was kind of helpful to look at the course, but just kind of separating the arm or the whole body curve from what I guess the eye perceives to be one thing. I don't know. You got to break up things. And any of the basic shapes they're talking about, everything. But it's a good reminder. And then I try to do jackalope from some random Pinterest references. My fountain pen's still being really weird. But we are going to just draw some lines, and then I'm going to finish up my cylinders because I got 7 more to go. I have been thinking about cylinders. In fact, I have a toilet paper tube. Because I've been thinking, this is so nerdy, but I've been thinking about how it's a perfect circle, right? Oh. Anyway. But as you tilt it, this is where you get your ellipse. Now, I still see a circle here, which is fine. Everyone sees a circle. It's still a circle. What I'm trying to learn to see is to mentally remove the lighting from inside this cylinder, from inside the cylinder, and see just the ellipse. So, maybe I'll actually do this at some point, but if I were to take a picture of that and trace the circle of the top of the tube on a 2D image, that's the ellipse, right? And circles are always going to be the ellipses in space. I've spilled ink somehow. I've tried replacing the and if you're listening, you get to hear my terrible singing voice because I'm not doing this on Twitch. I did finish the perspective lessons yesterday. The last one was plan projection. It's kind of cool to see that kind of come to life. God, my stomach is feeling weird AF today. I might work from home. I don't know if it's because I had some Penang curry yesterday. It was pretty good. What song is this? Banger. I need to figure what's happening. Figure this out. Cool, and these cubes, they look like they occupy space. It's almost entirely because of the ground plane, though. Because it does make me think that, how do you set stuff up in a scene to establish, if you have a carpet, I should start a timer. If you had a carpet, you want your pattern to go back in space, right? So it's if you had circles on your carpet, they're going to become sort of ellipsy. Assuming these are going back at the same rate in space, then you got kind of this thing going on. Ooh, I should look up a gouache. Between every SAC term, gouache sketching. I want to do like a course for fun or something. I mean, the square is kind of easy, right? Yeah. Because then if you have... This should be here. Because if you have these patterns on the ground, then it establishes for the users, one of my software developer, for the viewer's eye to go back in space from just a pattern, which then establishes these boxes a little better in space, I think. Anyway, enough about that. Okay, this is an oval because I kind of shortened at the top there. What? Why? Why does this... This is crazy. I just did like 30 circles and it's this one section. I wonder if I'm just using the pen wrong. I must be, right? Maybe this is good because it's going to force me to draw a little slower. You know what? I'm going to roll with it then. I don't know what perspective this is, don't ask me. But in theory, it'd be like this. This is annoying. I need to it might also be the ink. You just don't know these days. Okay. I'm just going to it. So, I just want to remind myself of some things. All the parallel axes of the box have to also be parallel with those elements of the cylinder. Additionally, the major and minor axes, the major and minor axes need to be parallel with the lines they share a plane with. But they both share the same plane, so that's not that would be two sets of lines. The major axis needs to be parallel with the lines. Needs to how do I say this? What I need to realize, because I get this, I don't understand it. If you have a this square in space, first of all, this is probably not a square. Might be, but the cylinder is not going to distort like this, or the circle. This is what one might think. This is what I thought. And it makes sense that it doesn't do this. But in fact, because of, we have the true center and then the ellipse center, so therefore the ellipse is going to be like this. So it's not inside of the square. It doesn't, totally hit center, but it kind of gets shifted as it flattens. Turn on a small fan. And I guess this minor axis needs to converge with the lines next to it, and the major axis needs to be parallel with, needs to converge with the lines it's parallel to. I'm trying to say that it needs to be parallel with the lines it shares a... Yeah. The major axis and minor axis need to be parallel and thus converge to the same point as the lines. They must be parallel to and converge to the same point as the lines with which they share an axis in terms of x, y, and z axes. Cool. All right, we got it as a math. We're good. I really like this. It looked really bad last night. It doesn't look as bad today. Today's the 16th. So more to go. Does this help? No. Alright. Also, one thing I realized the other day was that I was staring at a soda can. This is a square. There's no real perspective to it, but it's because the can was so close to me. You know what I mean? It's okay. Picture what you're gonna draw first. We'll just draw a real convergent top-down can. So we'll have this is okay. So if it goes over the distance, it doesn't have to be. Like this could be a square. Go there. These go back here. See, this kind of makes sense. This is why breaks are important. I took too much of a break, but they're still important. So my stomach is not feeling it, bro. Okay. Because I think I've always just tried to make this flatter, but I can make this thinner or more angled. So these here, 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 here. I should be hitting every plane of this. Technically, I've reshaped the box, the cylinder. This is likely going to be the best one I get today. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so now, I guess it's kind of like the horizon line is like, it's like here. It's no longer the top of the can, which I vibe with that. Well, if that was true, then you wouldn't see this. Never mind. This is weird. Whatever. I want to draw it cylinder going this way. That's pretty close. Is it a trapezoid or is it a square in perspective? It's neither. There we go. Okay, so I guess if it's kind of sideways, this is my horizon line. I don't think that's necessarily what I wanted, though. I'm never gonna master perspective, bro, but I can get as close as I can. Okay, so now... Cool. This is a good one, actually. Okay, this is a good box. Just don't fork it up. That was a really good box. I think something clicked with squares in that last perspective lecture. Well, let's do it a third time. Once is luck, twice is coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. So this is the true, well, this is the center of the square. This is the true center of the ellipse. Not of space, but of the ellipse itself. The major axis, which means these should, yep, cool. I mean, I'm just eyeballing the true center, but these are the sides of the cylinder, effectively. Okay. But, okay. This is what I'm confused about. This is one of the things. Actually, I guess if you see, okay, if I see that this is the edge. Never mind, that's actually fine. I wonder if that's thrown me off in the past, just as it did now. I just wasn't aware of it because I was like, oh man, this side is so much thicker than that side, but it's because this line is so thick at the front because I went over it so many times. That's definitely a little warped at the bottom. The bottom certainly has a problem. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of slaps. Kind of a banger. Maybe that'll be the best one we get today. Alright, so now that I have this, what I kind of had in my head was if you have a horizon line down here, and we've got we can add a third point later, but this line here, we'll have it extend to some vanishing point over here. I'd say this is about square. Ooh, that was a clean X. I love doing the start and end and then connecting them. Alright, and then this one will go off to some vanishing point here. I think I just need to be a little bit more mindful about my vanishing points because once I have it a little more subconscious. Oops, did not mean to draw that line. Then I can really start just like, converge the lines. Oof, that's not a square. That's a square. Well, it's square-ish. And for my skill level, we take ish. Ish is good. One day I will be at not ish level. But this will be slightly in front of the midpoint. Oh, not that much. No. Okay, you're pretty dead center actually. You shift. The more convergence, the more that this line has to shift beyond the true center. More convergence, more ellipse center shifts. Cool. Alright, so now it's the axle line that we do for the, like if this were wheels, that is our minor axis. And so this, and this is why the first two are probably the best we're going to get today. This is where I get really tripped up. So this is our center. Ish. This is our minor axis, which means our major axis has to create 90-degree angles. And therefore, our contact points are up here. And I already borked it. Nice. I think I know what I need to do, actually. I think I'm combining something. That's parallel enough. That's parallel enough. Because I think what I did... that the major axis should shift. So we're going to use the same thing here. I don't like how drastic that convergence would be though, so we'll just draw it up here. I don't want to draw it in line with this one. This is some, I did not follow the rules for that one. This is not very much a square. This just needs to kind of be more here, I think. We'll figure this out. Okay, so that's not important. Well, I mean it is, but not right now. So the first thing is minor axis is now set between the two centers. Now, this doesn't make sense. This needs to be smaller, thinner. We'll just kind of draw that line in. Okay. It still goes through the center, which is fine. The major, so if the true center of the ellipse shifts, the major axis can shift too. That's effectively just a circle. So that the ellipse center of this shifts, and I were to draw this, it would shift just to the left a teeny bit. Yes. That feels good, man. I don't I don't hate this. I need to blow my squares up though. So we can kind of use the same vanishing horizon line. So no, can we? Yeah, we can. It's just such a steep convergence. Okay, so this is another thing entirely, right? It's like how I know there's a way to properly do this, but I kind of want to just train my eye. So I think this is too tall to be a square. That's what I think. I am wrong. I am correct. Was not too hard to extend it. Cool. Kind of works. This line's a bit curved because I was drawing with my wrist. This is just a little bit of a curved line. Straight line. Just mental note. Saying out loud for anyone watching back. Use code BACON for 1,000,000% off on your own cylinders. All right. We got our... When I... Too many lines is bad. All right. So we know that this major axis is gonna effectively be through the center. This is kind of a... It's not a given, but it's pretty reliable. Boom. Ellipse. This one, we know the major axis... This is too... This doesn't cut this in half. This is not supposed to converge to a top point. I shouldn't, but I'm adjusting it to my eye. Okay, I'm moving the major axis a little bit. This is going to be too small. I don't know why I did that. It doesn't have to be that small. Oh, this got so effed. Nope. We know that these need to be parallel, so oh, you know what? Draw in minor axis, major, ellipse, cylinder edges, ellipses. We'll try that. Because holy bork, man. This one looked good. This one does not look good. This one sparked joy. This one does not spark joy. Five. I think that's 98 cylinders. I'm optimistic that I can grind the last pages of this Is this some sort of, I don't know, training or something? I'm asking because I'm a dumbass. Don't worry, me too. Yeah, kind of. I'm following this thing called the Solo Artist Curriculum. I'll link it in the chat in a moment. But pretty much it links to this other website called Drawbox, and that's drawabox.com. And I first found out Drawbox years and years ago. Answering live. And effectively, the goal is to draw. The first one is 250 boxes in space. So this is a good example. And then there's also to draw 250 cylinders in space. Your first 150 cylinders. Wherever they are hiding. They're here somewhere. Oh, I started them in a different sketchbook, that's why. Your first 150 cylinders are just free. There's no box surrounding them. This is interesting to look back on, because this is exactly what I was thinking about earlier. It's cool. And then your last 100 are in boxes, so I have 2 more to go. You just have to draw the box first, and then there's a surprising amount of thought that goes into ellipses. Circles in space. Okay. I'm going to draw 2 big boys. So we're going to have the same horizon line. The VPs are going to be off the page. I think I can work with that. I didn't hate what was happening here, but it's... something is wrong. This was okay, though. I could start with the square back in space and extend it out this way, maybe. That's not a terrible idea. Let's just try it. So we are vertical. I don't want to try 3-point. I ain't ready for that. Because I guess if 3-point, both centers are going to... the center is going to shift in all directions. And by all directions, I just mean 2. Alright, so we'll go off slightly off the page. And that'll just be like a tiny bit smaller. We could converge significantly. I kind of want to have it be here. We need to go and then this one's going to converge. Ooh, this is too big. Ooh, that's close call. This is a big cylinder, bro. That was a mistake. What was really cool about that moment, though, that was really weird. I was like, oh, this is not that much space. And then all of a sudden I drew these 2 lines. I was like, whoa, that's huge. Which just means I understand, well, not understand, but which means I'm gaining an understanding of forms in space, which is cool. Because that's the whole point, right? You're trying to create this illusion. Go. Is that a compromise? This did not go as planned. This is not a square. There's no fucking way. Really? I guess this has to converge still, but... okay, you know, maybe it is. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna just trust it. Trust the process. Oh, shoot. I forked something out. That's okay. Hey, I tried it. Alright, well, the last 2, and then I got dip. Make like a chip and dip. Believe the sign. Yeah, these centers are off. Ah, don't do too many lines. Okay. This is wonky. It's kind of a circle, but it's angled that way, which means this ellipse should be angled in the same regard. There, it's more of a true center. Oh yeah, don't do the ellipse yet. Do the edges first. Yikes, dude. And this is why I did that. Okay. This was too big. Okay, so we need to hit... Hey, practice makes everyone makes mistakes with this. It is tricky. It is very tricky. I mean, hey, that's what I'm practicing. The goal is not truly perfection. It's just like getting close enough. But you are absolutely correct. I'm just spend so much time watching courses, and I'm like, I'm not practicing enough. All right. I'll kind of take that. I think it was a good educational endeavor. One more cylinder! Just one more! I'll draw more. This was too big. This was way too big. I should have done half that. I do this thing where I'll like put expectations on myself for the last thing. If I'm doing iterative sketches, I'm like, the last one has to be the best, but it's not true. It's not true because that's not the last one. All right. Using what I've learned, do this, and we're gonna make this here. Maybe I'll keep these on the page, keep it interesting. I'm gonna draw the whole line. It's not part of the exercise though. That's not right. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. This point should not be here. Well, it's too late. This is kind of square-ish. Easier to do with the one further away. Okay, these are now just here. I'm deviating a little bit from the amount of perspective lines I'm drawing. I know you're not supposed to go all the way back for the draw blocks challenge, but that's okay. That's important. I'm doing it with intention. That's my point. Okay. It's not terrible. I can work with this. Well, maybe. Okay, I can sort of see it. This is not going to line up with the vanishing point. Maybe it will. Whatever. Okay, we have minor, major. Oh boy. Okay, this is when the toilet paper tube comes in. It's not a circle. It's just an ellipse. Nailed it. Honestly, just thinking of the 2D shape, nailed it. No, I didn't. This is not parallel. I was thinking, I'm so confident. No. Oh, shucks, dude. There should be, I guess, here. Ugh. Hey, Pranish and Saif. Hello, Saif. Sorry, Saif. Hopefully not totally butchering that. I'm okay. I'm about to wrap up. I'm gonna just do a few more cylinders, but cinnamon bun. Hey. Yeah, I got 10 more minutes. People just hopped in. We're chilling. That's 100 cylinders, baby. All right. I think this is an important discovery because I think something I've struggled with is that I'll have these boxes, these squares. Bro, look how fast I could do this. Holy shit. Yo, that's crazy, dog. It's not a perfect square, but I'll get there eventually. Maybe in like 5 years. What I struggle with so much is we hit this. This is just a circle. I need to take... this should have been a little warped. this line, this contact point, and make a parallel line with this contact point. This contact point, make a parallel line here until it intersects here. And then I have my major axis. So then I mentally have to squash this into 2D space. It should be more that way. And then we're kind of like, that's it. Are you a sketch artist? I'm new on this channel. I am many things. Whether you want to call me a sketch artist, I don't know. Although, actually, you capitalize that. My profession is software engineering. And I've just been taking a very deep dive into drawing the last couple of weeks. I can't do any software engineering videos, so this is what I'm live streaming now. This is who I've become. Alright, shifting these points is gonna rotate things. But anyway, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by this morning. These are gonna be far, square-ish. These are gonna be close for some convergence. Or not. Well, I want the convergence. It's gonna flatten out because it's further away. This is not a box. Or this is not it. So we are going to cut this off. I need to make these as square as possible. Now that I'm done with the challenge, I can amend this as much as I want. I guess that is part of the challenge, but again, intentionality. Alright, this is that. These, this goes too perfectly back into perspective. Don't love it. That's okay. So, minor, major. Part of me is like, that can't be right, but I guess if it converges more than it is. And then parallel lines. Parallel lines. See, it doesn't hit. I think the center was off. It's not terrible though. Hey, no worries for slow responses. And yeah, I think it's definitely a form of procrastination. Because it can feel like you're learning things, but if you don't put them into practice, they don't stick around very long. Hella convergence here. I'm just gonna going at it. Thinking again. Thinking about flattening. Ugh. My stomach is not feeling well. Flattening into that ellipse into 2D space. They're much better than they used to be. Unfortunately, yes. None of the shows. Yeah. I mean, in some way, like I've been watching courses alongside all this mileage and stuff. I don't think I'm showing my Trello board right now, but I have all these homework assignments for myself, and it's like, the courses are good because without the courses, I wouldn't be thinking about all this major minor axis nonsense. It's not nonsense, but it's important, but it's more important that I'm doing the work. And I mean, everyone knows that, but especially me, I'm very good at coming up with excuses. Ooh, wow, I hit that quick. That's pretty good. It's like I'm finally warmed up. Okay, flatten it, 2D space. We want to hit all of these. That's kind of ovalish. I should have warmed up with ellipses. Just okay. We draw the parallel lines where they're gonna hit, and they hit here. Boom. That's it. 104 cylinders and boxes. I just like the number 4, so I want to do 4 more. Cool. That's that. I gotta get to work in a minute. Oh. That's 100 cylinders. I have my old sketchbook up there. Not my old one, but my previous one. I'm definitely gonna make a video on this term 1 stuff. I think it's much better than just arbitrary sketchbook tours. But I'm gonna check off the box. 250 cylinder challenge complete. What is your favorite, Ronaldo or Messi? I'm confused. Proud Bulgarian is not me. I am not proud Bulgarian. The victim cycle to me favorite the book, The Oz Principle. This is not. I'm familiar with the whole kind of victimization thing, but I've never heard of the Oz Principle before. Good news. Oh, this is a business book. Eh. Yeah, I mean, check out the videos on my channel. I'm very much a self accountability person. I to a fault will take. It's also important that you take responsibility for yourself. You don't blame yourself. You know what I mean? Because responsibility can very quickly turn into self-blame, and I think that can be dangerous. It's, you know, but yeah. Ronaldo or Messi? I'm not the biggest sports guy, but hey, I've seen Blue Lock. I know what a striker is, at least. Might change, but sometimes I think I watched Messi clips. I think like a compilation of his goals over the years. Because I was seeing some of the panels in Blue Lock, and I was like, "There's no way that's doable in the future." No, in the real world, and that absolutely is. But anyway, thanks for everyone for stopping by. My name's Mark. I have videos up about things. There's one sketchbook tour on my channel, so you can see kind of where I'm coming from. But I really appreciate you all stopping by, especially toward the end. Cinnamon Big, good to see you. I think I'm going to do compositions again tomorrow or Friday, because I want to finish those. I still have the Spirited Away tabs open. But yeah, see you all later.